Minecraft, to me, is a marvel of world generation and creativity. In this series of survival Minecraft videos, I'll try to exemplify these aspects in 1.12. While I get basic resources, to explain how I'm approaching this and what version I'm playing on, first I'm trying to take this slow, like old playthroughs, which is also why I'm playing on 1.12, to bring 2017 Minecraft back into the limelight. But what are your goals for this video, I hear you asking? Well, I want a cool base that utilizes 1.12's great landscape. I'll touch on that more later. I'll also be attempting to get an iron pickaxe and mostly monster-proof my base. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm taking this slowly, which is why I'm shooting only 5 days in the first video. That way I can attempt to have an upload schedule. A little something about myself is that I love Zelda, so for my first base I'll be making Va Meadow, the bird divine beast, though as you see later it looks more like a turkey. One aspect of this game that I just love is the agriculture. Even though I can't trade with villagers as well as modern Minecraft, that doesn't hinder the fun of making pumpkin or sugarcane farms. I'll try not to do too much mining on or off camera, because I don't really want it to let it... Oh my gosh. What I was saying is that I don't want to mine too much on or off camera, so I don't hinder the experience of playing Minecraft itself and just slogging through the entire game to get diamond armor. So I'll just let it come to me naturally instead of grinding through strip mines or going through caves. I've never really enjoyed caves in this game anyway. It's kind of just too dangerous and it's always stressful and it's not too fun. But I love just the agriculture and building, so that's what I'll try to focus on. Right here I find iron. All I do is make a pair of shears and a bucket so I can keep moving on with my creations and stuff. And then by the end of the episode I'll get a little bit more iron so I can get the pick and move on. I'm gonna sleep amazingly tonight. After an amazing night's sleep, I actually managed to find a perfect spot for my new base, right on top of that ledge right behind me. I have big plans for this mountain, mostly just Va Meadow on the top, but I'm planning on having a farm on the bottom, because as I learned later, the water will freeze at the top of the mountain, so I'm going to have to build other builds lower so I can have farms and stuff like that. As I made my way up the mountain, I decided to place a waterfall on the side, because I thought that'd be a fun way to get up without having an ugly ladder in the way. One great way to just express your ideas or write down what you're to write down what you're trying to do is put them on a sign right where you're going to build it. It helps me remember where I'm going to put stuff. So right here, I was actually just going to call it the Cloud Watcher, but I decided to build Valmodo later instead of building some random bird, but it ended up just looking like a random bird anyway. I'm not the greatest at combat, so I'm trying to light up the surrounding area and sleep early as much as I can. It kind of ruins the days for how long I can be awake, but it helps with just general fun in the game for me. Taking some time to landscape your base's location rather than just copying Wyoming and making a pancake really boosts its quality. I learned that in part from both Mog Swamp and Yeah Jared. Seeing Jared build one small thing a day for 30 days motivated me in my building journey, so that's something that I'll do in this series, just some small builds that show more creativity than just one giant mansion that has one block. While I'm making this landscaping and mountain and Va Meadow, I'll talk about some of my inspirations for this and why I'm making these videos, mostly so I can avoid so many jump cuts that look really bad. Right here, before I get on that, this is where I realized that the ice freezes at the top of the mountain, so I had to place torches, which actually works in this version. Some things like carving pumpkins was something I wasn't sure if it works, and it doesn't. And your pickaxes make a sound when it breaks, so that was something that's kind of fun, like the learning curve. Back to why I'm doing this. I really love creators like watching Small Ant, Mog Swamp, Yeah Jaren. Just making all these amazing videos inspires you to film your own stuff. And I love watching PewDiePie and Technoblade make videos in older versions, so I'm trying to show that a little bit. One thing I've learned from watching them is making mine entrances, so you have a dedicated area to mine instead of just some random hole in the ground, which is something that I love doing, so that's what I'm doing right here. One tip for base building is placing 2 saplings for every 1 tree that you mine. It helps fill up your entire location and keeps you from never running out, especially on the top of this mountain, so I don't have to run all the way down and get new saplings. Here's a little mine I did. So far it's just a hole in the wall, but hopefully in episode 2 I'll be able to come back and work on it a little bit more. Here's one part where I use some spruce to show old 1.12 Minecraft and show how people used to build much simpler back then. And it's something I love, so I'm trying to show that in here with like the classic icon on the hand. It's really fun to just see what they're doing. And now I'm just gonna mine down, set up a little mine, like I said. It's really fun to get the opportunity to do a little bit of mining sometimes, even if you're trying to be slow. Caving in this game can be so easy, it's almost mind-numbingly boring. You don't even come close to dying. I had an extremely easy time with the rest of the caving, not even close to dying. For no particular reason, I decided to start strip mining. Iron acquired. Pickaxe acquired. I know I said I wasn't going to grind out mining too much, and I'm still not. This is chopping, and I need the wood for the mega turkey anyway. Mega turkey is going well. Just carved out the butthole ladder. Tail is looking good. I'm thinking about taking this run vegetarian, because it's super easy to just farm and not kill a bunch of animals the second you get hungry. Here's where the generously donated wool is going. I'm making the white part of a duck's stomach, because this build stopped being Vomito a long time ago. Almost done with the top of the turkey duck / roof of the base. Epic water bucket clutch to get more wood for the neck. As I'm finishing up the head, I know this beautiful boy is going to be spectacular. I'm going to use some spruce for the wings rather than oak for the entire build. I actually built the wings in creative beforehand, and I really like how they came out, so I'm just going to be building this one-to-one with the creative wings. Walking up and seeing it almost done, it's actually pretty good as a turkey. Not so much as Vomito, but it's just a turkey build. It's pretty good, actually. On the other side of the wings, I'll just be replicating it for the same way. I like the statuesque look, and it makes it easier for me to build and finish off this episode quicker. Despite this build not living up to my expectations, I still love it. It has a lot of heart. I hope it opens the door for great builds in more future episodes. I'm not against the idea of modern Minecraft in this series. Maybe as a sub-goal or for day 100 I could update this world to modern Minecraft. I have this idea to learn Lightmatica and get really good Divine Beast builds going. Maybe I could build them out of Tough or something. But doing little goals day by day and letting my own creativity guide where I go moving forward is something I'm hoping to keep throughout the series. I got a little ahead of myself. Lightmatica, from my understanding, is a schematic plugin, as in it would be a blueprint for me to follow, so I don't have to just wing it in every single build. I'm not against winging it and making stuff like Varuda, but it would be nice to find a balance for how I'm going to build things, like, rather than just replicating some random bird that I built in creative that I didn't even like that much. I could take some inspiration from other creators and plug it into my world, and it could help me really get great builds in. Next episode, I'd like to make a mine entrance. On camera in creative mode, I'll fully plan it out just how I like it. I'll also get at least a vein of diamonds and start a crop farm. As I get better at editing, I'll pursue harder to edit projects, like online play or even different games. But for now, I'm happy where I'm sitting with this, and I'm glad I could get this much editing in the introductory video. I'd be curious to hear what you guys' thoughts are on how I did and how I could improve. With that being said, I'll give my final thoughts while running down the final build of Turkey Varuda. And here it is. I love all the heart that was in this build, which is something that was really important in 1.12, so I think I succeeded in capturing that. As I move on with these videos, I'll pace myself better to try to hit my self-imposed 10-minute milestone at least rule. I'd like to give special thanks to my brother for the music at the end, so I don't get copyright stricken. Thanks for sticking around.